It
We
is
are back.
episode 154, I think, yes, of the Metal Roundtable. Hang on, if I cheat and use the banner. Yeah, there we go. It is episode 154 of the Metal Roundtable. I am Metal Rob, and with me for the moment is
Scott. What am I today? Raging Waters, I think. I don't think I changed it.
Scott
we'll keep it that way for a while.
Wataz. And the Carcass will be here very shortly. He's running a little behind today, but it's all good.
And then we have a special guest.
What's that? And we do have a guest. In a few minutes, we're going to have the governor, Rick Perry from Iron Jaw, to catch us up. They've had a lot of developments in the Iron Jaw camp, and we're going to catch up on all of that. But first, I don't have really a shout out at the moment, so I'll just show if you. Oh, wait, yes, I do have a shout out. I need you guys, when you're watching the show, I need you to go to the comments on YouTube, and I need you to read Baron Von Headbanger. This dude has started telling stories in the comments before the show starts over the last couple of weeks, or the last few weeks, and they're pretty funny. So you need to go read Baron Von Headbanger's stories in the comments. He is the fourth Beatle now with awesome stories and stuff. So thank you for being here, Baron Von Headbanger. Also, TJ Lewis is here, Metal Overkill, Damien Hair Metal, Donnell Blair. It's been a few weeks. Good to see you. And I saw Tony Clem up there in the comments. So yeah, man, it's good to see you guys. Got a quick shout out, then we'll show our new acquisitions.
Me? Yes. Sorry. I thought you said you had another shout out. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead, dude.
Well, I'm going to show my acquisitions real quick because that's part of my shout outs. First of all, I picked up the new Siren, which I believe this is their third album. The first one was way back in the 80s, early 90s. I probably have it sitting behind me. I don't. But anyhow, but what I really like about bands like this is when you order the CD, I ordered it direct from the band, and they also send you a patch and a sticker and an autographed postcard. That kind of stuff is cool, I think. I mean,
it's cool.
I think it kind of makes you more of a fan, you know. It makes you an instant fan. I knew I used to do that with Ultimatum all the time. People would order something and I'd throw extra crap in. I still do that when I send people stuff. I throw stickers and buttons or other stuff in there just for fun. But in any case, the new Siren's fantastic. So if you like the last album they did, what was the name of the last album? Back from the Dead. Fantastic US power metal, bordering thrash at times, but mostly just straightforward metal. This new one's about the same way. It really kind of reminds me, especially the vocals, it kind of has like a Metal Church vibe to it. So if you dig that kind of US power metal style, this new Siren's fantastic. And I want to thank the Metal War God for turning me on to that because I didn't realize they had a new album out. And then also I picked up this by a new band called Yellowtooth.
Oh, I've got some of their stuff.
And The Burning Illusion is the name of the album. Now this one they sent to me, I didn't purchase it, so big shout out to them. I gave it a listen today. I just came in today and I listened to it again today. John, it's really good, straightforward heavy metal. They definitely dabble in different styles, so I hear bits of thrash and death metal and whatnot. But I mean, to me, it's just straightforward heavy metal with I don't know, like I said, it mixes it up a little bit. So it's not like you're going to call this a Judas Priest clone, but there is some, forays into death metal and thrash and whatnot. But really good band. And they too sent a little sticker with their CD, which like I said, I really dig that kind of stuff. What's up, John?
Hey, life almost got in my way today.
We were showing off some new acquisitions. What you got? Anything?
Oh, yeah. As a matter of fact, you remember Travis from Insipidus? Well,
yes.
This is one of his side bands. This is brutal death metal.
There's my Insipidus tape.
Yeah. Rumor has it they're going to be here on the 5th at Rob's Billiards. Yeah.
I'll be at Wasp and Armored Saint.
Oh, that's better option. I'm just kidding. I think it's just a rumor, though. We need to confirm it with the guys.
Right on.
But that's what I had heard.
Cool. Yeah, I snagged a few things. Here is my quick down and dirty. Let me put these in order. Yeah, I'm gonna do this way. Okay. First of all, I grabbed. Oh, did I cut your? Did I steal your
No,
thunder?
I was just while you were looking, I was throwing things up there.
Oh, okay. I grabbed this box set of ZZ Top stuff to replace the bunch of CDs, so I'll have this on the shelf instead of all.
Is that like all their
ZZ Top.
studio records or something?
Yeah, the complete studio albums from 70 to 90. So looking forward to adding that to the collection. It goes from the first.
I wonder if it's the
album
original.
to
Do you know if it's the original mixes or it's the CD mixes? Do you know?
Let's hope it's not that box set mix, that original one.
I don't think it is, because that 6-pack remix, remaster, whatever, was awful.
It was horrific.
Well, it's because they tried to make all the old albums sound like the new albums.
I was looking very much forward to getting this,
And
it's good. I was looking.
Well, that didn't
very
sound
much
like a
forward to
ringing
getting this.
endorsement there, Chief.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed. I was kind of bummed. It's good. It's well done. I need to give it some more listens and let it grow on me. But this Queensryche, this is really, really good. And I think, first of all, the bonus track 12, is Rebel Yell,
Billy Idol.
which is awesome. But I kind of think the album builds as it goes. So, man, if you're on the fence about the new Queensryche album, I like it. I think it's the best Todd La Torre Queensryche album yet, and I stand by that. But this bad boy right here is, hey, the governor's here. This bad boy right here is good. This is a perfect blend. Let me bring the governor on real quick. What's up, dude? How are you?
What's up? Oh, I'm good. Is it working?
Yeah,
Sorta.
Yep.
It's a little laggy. But the new Skid Row
Laggy.
is fantastic. I had heard the reviews were good. I got it for myself. I've listened to it several times all the way through. Eric is a perfect blend of Sebastian Bach and Johnny Solinger, but the songs are pure Skid Row. It's the best thing they've done since Slave to the Grind. What do you think about that? Oh, and I found a cassette single that I'm going to send to Scott.
Woohoo!
Yay, Scott.
Isn't that fun? But nobody cares about that because we have greatness in our midst. The governor is here. I think he might be frozen.
I think he is too.
Hey,
He is
is-
frozen.
I'm going to message him.
I'll be right back.
All right.
I got a couple more
Yeah,
purchases.
do it, man. Do it. We'll figure it out.
Pre-Insect Warfare, Coffin Grinder on tape. A killer. They were a thrash band, power metal band a la Hellstar. In fact, I booked a show with them at the High Chaparral back in 1990. Dark Rain, opening for Hellstar in Steel Fury. Thank you, Terry Sullivan. Astral Tomb from Denver, another one of those crazy heavy death metal with ambient sweeping things. And this thing right here, the new Mortuous, this thing is brutal. This defines death metal right here. This is it. This is the best death metal album in 5 years, bar none.
Nice.
I
That's
got a
all
couple.
I have.
I got a couple of things I can show too while waiting on Rick, because got a few things in that Rob and I worked on, like the double live album from Bloodgood. What was it? Alive? Was it called Shaking the World and Alive in America?
Yep.
And they came out really good. They sound really good, and they came with these cool. I don't know how to explain. I guess they're. It's on that
Oh, that's
weird.
kinda cool. Yeah, like a rainbow
Yeah.
paper or whatever.
Yeah, hologram paper, I guess they call it.
Yeah, there you go.
So anyhow, I thought that was pretty cool. So anyhow, those just came out and just went on sale if anybody's interested. But hey, Rick's back, so let's talk to Rick.
I think I got it going now.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
perfect.
much better.
Yeah, you
Much
sound
better,
great.
brother.
I'm
How
new
are
to
you?
this stuff still. I'm new to all this stuff.
No,
So,
you're doing great. You're doing great.
good.
So let's talk about Iron Jaw, and I'm not sure where to begin. Because you guys have a lot going on.
We do.
Before we talk about the album, I want to talk about the event that I was at a couple months back out at MediaTek. Talk
Right.
about how that all came together.
Kerry Crafton just asked us. He was, he's an instructor out there, and I think he's part owner of MediaTek. I'm not sure, but I know he's one of the main people behind it. And he asked us to play a set for his birthday, and yeah, we thought it was really cool, and of course we said yeah. It turned out to be a pretty cool thing. It was like a free gig that we did, whatever Memorial Day weekend or whatever holiday that was. But it turned out really well, and it's on YouTube. I think he's got the whole show on YouTube, so you can see it. But that was
Yeah,
pretty
it was awesome. Lights and big sound and big stage, and
Yeah, it was really cool because usually when you do a show, especially nowadays at the venues, you do a quick line check and then you go. But we got to do the full-blown sound check, and they made sure it was all dialed in and loud, real good and loud. And I thought it was killer. We got to really come across with full heavy metal thunder.
yes, you did. And now, did you guys record that for a live album, or was it just the stream and the live video that you put on YouTube?
Well, he recorded it, and we can do whatever we want with it. And we may end up using some of the audio as like bonus tracks whenever our new CD, like live bonus tracks. So we'll do something with it. I mean, because the recordings come out pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it did. So
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know, MediaTek is just an audio video.
I had never been out there. I was very impressed. I mean, they got several full-blown, multi-track studios with big boards, 32 channel boards, and they do video production. They do all kinds of things like that, animation.
Right.
And then the room where we played in is actually the room where they teach live sound. That's where they teach their students how to run live sound. And it's pretty cool. I didn't even know that a place like that existed, but it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's they'll teach you mixing, they'll teach you mastering, they'll teach you lighting, they'll teach you, like you were saying, the animation and just all that stuff. And I think it's great that that it's out there. And I thought it was awesome that Kerry invited you guys out. And also, I've never met Sterling, but Sterling Winfield is out there, and he produced a bunch of the Pantera records, I think,
Right.
if not all of them.
Yeah, and I think he's done some things out there too, where he breaks it down and does a discussion of the mixing of all the techniques they used to mix those records. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a really cool place. That was a lot of fun to. It was cool for me to see you guys just right up close and personal, indoors, nice and cool, and it was a great show, man. And Todd, it's funny because we know you guys. Carcass knows you a lot longer, a lot better than than I do. But to me, it's still cool because it's like, oh shit, that's Rick Perry. Oh shit, that's Todd Pack. And it's still, to me, as a 53-year-old almost, is cool to see those guys, whether you know them or not, and just to be that close and just see the power. And it was fun, man. I had a great time that night. So,
yeah, it was cool. It was a good show.
That was awesome. So I believe you have some other things coming up that you need to talk about. Yes?
Well, we we just released a brand new video about 2 weeks ago for a new song. Tonight We Raid. It's the first of 7 songs that we recorded earlier in the year, and we're just getting done mixing them all. But we're just going to release them. We're going to kind of space them out, and we're going to release. We released one a couple weeks ago, and another couple weeks we're going to release another one called Pyromancer, and then a month after that we'll do another one. So we're just going to space it out like that.
I'm going to put the link in the comments over here.
Yeah, the way people consume music now. I know you guys, of course, are diehard CD collectors, and you like the physical product, and I like the physical product. But a lot of people don't seem to listen to, 6, 7, 8, 9 songs in a row anymore of a particular band. Maybe the diehard fans do. I'm sure they do. But I think they don't really get a chance to really all soak in the way they all should be soaked in. It's not like in the 70s whenever you sat on your bed with the black light and, maybe some mood enhancing substances you might smoke first and study the album cover. And so you knew that Martin Birch produced this album and what chateau in France that they did it at, or, I knew all those stuff from studying those liner notes, and you would really get involved with the album from start to finish. Now, since people seems like shorter attention spans, just put out one song and let that one soak in. Then a month later, we'll put out another one, let it soak in. Another month later, another one soak in. That way each song gets its full due, I think.
I agree with that.
And then when they're all done, then we'll put out the CD. Maybe
Right.
with a couple extra tracks that weren't previously released or something.
Right. And so you've got 8 songs that you've done. Is that what you said?
We did 7, but we got a couple more that we want to record soon.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Awesome.
the riffs are always coming, and the metal never stops.
No, metal will prevail.
It does.
But we're not ending the show yet.
Right.
No.
No, we're only a few minutes into this thing.
Yeah.
Well, where did you guys do the recording? How did that all? Are y'all doing it with a studio? Or are you doing it yourselves?
Well, the guy who mixed the first one, his name is Josh Woodward. He mixed and recorded the first CD, Chain of Command. And for this one, what we did was we wanted to record it ourselves but still send the tracks to him to let him mix it.
Mm-hmm.
But we wanted to be more self-sufficient to where we can record whenever we feel like it and not, have to get this whole big thing organized to record, 7 or 8 songs in a row. Just whenever we are, have a new song, we got the equipment now to where we can record it ourselves and send it to him and have him mix it. So that's what we're doing. I think nowadays the drums usually need to be recorded with some special care and miking and in a certain room. But guitars, I mean, what do you think? You think about what you do with the guitar amp. Usually in the studios, you just put it in a closet, with some padding around it. So we can do that at home just as easily. And the vocals, we can do that at home. So it just makes more sense for us to do it ourselves rather than spend, $40 or $50 an hour at a recording studio.
Yeah, I think that's what I'll do on my next thing is just get the drums down and bring it all back home,
Yeah, I really learned that with War Beast, because when we did the Crush the Enemy album, we went out to Phil's house and he brought us to a recording studio to do the drums, which we did that in like 2 days. And then after that, we just went back to the house and, we put the amp in a bedroom and put a mic in front of it. And that's all you really need to do.
Yep. Totally agree.
Yep.
Carcass looks like he's about to explode with questions.
No, I'm not. I just saw Rick at the I saw both
Warren Fest.
I saw him at Warren Fest, and Iron Jaw, of course, killed it. And they've got a great live vibe. And so maybe talk about, I know there had been some changes in the band a few years ago. This lineup seems fairly solid now. And has that helped in the writing and tracking of the new record?
Well, yeah, it did. But we have made a recent change. I don't know if you knew about that one or not.
No.
Well, yeah, we're getting a new drummer. We're getting
So
a new
is
drummer.
Todd Pack gonna now sing and play like a la Exciter?
No,
He's not gonna do that.
No, I don't think he can do both at the same time. I'm sure he could do both at the same time.
Sure.
But I'd rather him
not with the same energy, probably.
Right.
Okay.
No, just we parted ways with Randy. Some musical differences. We're still fine with him. I mean, as far as personally, but we're gonna explore some other options. And so we got a couple other guys that want to try out.
So is that so is he still doing the headbanger thing then? I mean,
no, that's Lance Williams does.
Oh, that's right. That's Lance Williams. Never mind.
Lance is the drummer for Headbanger.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
well, I did see. I got confused because I did see you prior to Iron Jaw with the Headbanger thing at the Raven show.
Right. I was limping around.
Yes, with your bad back. Although you pulled through, and man, I'm telling you what, that's another good band, and you're part of it. So I guess that should be no surprise. But I really enjoyed the ode to the old school, especially to the new wave kind of twists and turns. And it was funny to listen to people talk about how great those songs were. These guys really write great songs. And I'm thinking, well, yeah, Holocaust did write nice songs.
Yes,
but anyway.
Did. Yeah, we picked pretty obscure ones, and that way people don't know. So sometimes people don't know who they're from. So
right.
We're going to do another show in November at the Haltom Theater. It's Power Fest. And we're going to play, I mean, for a long time. We're going to play a bunch of songs, so that ought to be
awesome.
Cool. Yeah,
I'll look for that.
Yeah, but no, Iron Jaw. We are looking for a new drummer. We got some people that are interested, and we'll be trying out probably next week. And but we're not going to let any moss grow. We're gonna keep on rolling.
Yeah. Somebody had asked who are your influences on guitar. I already know the answer, but I'll let you answer.
Probably Ace Frehley is probably my first influence, and definitely I would say Kiss is what made me want to get into music and be in a band. But musically, not as much. I would say Kiss is not that big of an influence on me, but just the idea of Kiss, I think, is what fascinated me when I was 15 years old. But they were like a gateway drug for me that led to Ted Nugent and Van Halen and AC/DC, and then Black Sabbath and Judas Priest, always kind of gravitating towards the heavier stuff. So those bands all influenced me musically a lot more than Kiss does, but Kiss still does. Ace Frehley's a great lead guitar player, but other, of course, Glenn and KK are two of my favorites, and Angus Young, Richie Blackmore, the usual suspects.
I've always said Ace has a charisma as opposed to being like a technically great player. He just has a charisma that's all his own, and style that's all his own.
He does, and the leads on Kiss Alive are like textbook rock and roll 101. I mean, it's like all the classic licks. It's like a primer for rock and roll lead guitar, and his leads are all very memorable, and I think that's really sometimes better than having a million notes per second. Is having a lead that you will always remember how it goes, and it's kind of a catchy little memorable song within the song.
Right.
And,
yeah.
And
Hook
really,
over flash.
Yeah, I'm not really a shredder. Even back in Gamacide days, Scott and I knew we were never going to be as mind blowing as Mike Scotia or as amazing as Dimebag Darrell. So we just went a different route and said, well, we're just going to be a guitar team and just be heavy and super tight. And that was our approach. We may not have the greatest leads, a la Yngwie Malmsteen or anything like that, but, we're just going to focus on just killer riffs. And really, I think killer riffs are more important than killer leads for a song.
I agree.
I'm going to second that motion.
It's got to serve the song. If you've got just a laid back killer riff and then you just go noodling. That's just no fun. I'd rather
Right. Now,
melodic and good.
of course, a killer lead if is awesome, and I'm always working on that too. But the riff is the main thing, I think, in metal.
I agree. When do you anticipate the new album coming out?
It's going to be probably springtime by the time it's all the tracks have been released one at a time. So it'll probably be around springtime before we put it out.
And with the whole drummer thing, so I assume you've already got all those drum tracks done. Are you going to use the new guy on the new drum tracks? Are you going to re-record and everything, or how are you going to do all that?
We'll keep the drum tracks, but we may try to do some recording soon with our whoever the new drummer turns out to be, because I got, like I said, a couple new songs that I wanted to include on our new with some of the new material that we'll be releasing, and because I thought it needed a couple blasters, I thought we needed to get back and make sure we had that area covered, and so I wrote a couple more songs that I think kind of fit that bill.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's cool. I was gonna ask, so we haven't managed to get Todd on the show yet, so I'm gonna ask you my Todd Pack question. I don't remember where I heard it. Maybe I saw it, a post that he and the Metal Motivator put out or something, but he referenced being in the LA scene back in the day.
Yeah.
Do you know the story with that?
I don't know all the story. I know that he moved out there to seek fame and fortune in Hollywood, and was I don't know what band he was playing with. If he was playing with, he may have been this band called Dallas Dolls or something like that. I'm not sure.
I've got to talk to him about that.
Yeah, I don't know exactly. I know he was out there trying to make it out there for a while, and he disappeared from the DFW scene, and then returned years later, prodigal son, so to speak.
Right.
Happy to have him back. I mean,
yeah.
A lot of people go out there, and including my brother-in-law Terry Sullivan. They drove out there from Alabama with Steel Fury, had a record contract with New Renaissance, Rob and I's favorite record label, and kind of the whole thing, the wheels came off, and the record company made a bunch of money off them, and they all sort of broke up and went to other bands, and then ended up back home.
Is New Renaissance really your favorite label?
No, I was being very, very facetious.
Really?
Yeah.
Gamicide, we sent some stuff to them in the old days, and because we were trying to get on any label we could, and Anne Boleyn wrote back, and she didn't give us she offered us she put one song on Thrash Metal Attack Volume 2, and we said, well, sure, you can do that, but can we do a full album also? But she said, well, let's just do this first, and that was all. But they had a few cool bands like At War, and Indestroy was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was a cool band.
Yeah. Steel
Fury. Anyway.
Yeah.
So talk to us about the Wild Rags thing. I know that's not Iron Jaw, but I think that your foundation in Gamicide, in fact, I remember driving up from Houston to see Gamicide because the reputation preceded them, and I promptly discovered bands like Sedition and Rigor Mortis, and because you were playing with bands like that. But man, Gamicide, to your point, you guys were riffing maniacs, and that's what I really love about thrash is the riff. And yes, I love a good lead too, but it just seemed like that you pulled off what you set out to do, and that's be a tag team of riffs.
Yeah, that's we really, I mean, we existed for a while before Scott joined as a second guitarist, and truth be told, they actually kind of snuck him in while I was out on vacation one time. Then they brought him in and taught him the songs, and when I came back, he was there, because I was kind of resistant to the idea. But it didn't take long for us to sit down and really discover the possibilities. I remember when because we were completely unschooled as far as, musical knowledge or knowing notes and keys and stuff like that. But we figured out how to do harmonies by, okay, so if you play this riff here and I play the same riff, but I move it up 4 frets or I move it over 1 string, you get these different sounds, and it really just exploded out. And it just really, we really saw the possibilities of it right away. And it really led to a lot of different song writing ideas. And yeah, I mean, Gamicide is still very popular, man. I mean,
yeah, I mean, that's an Islander for me, that that full length. And then plus, you and I worked on that box. We call it the box set. It really wasn't a box. It was like a triple gatefold. But so your deal with Wild Rags, I mean, although be it short-lived, was, I mean, that had to propel you to do something. I mean, it got your name out there anyway.
Yeah, it did.
Just having to have it behind me.
Yeah, we because Richard C. Is kind of a notorious figure in the underground, but he definitely was a promotion machine, and he sent flyers out to everybody, and he had a huge mailing list, 20,000 people or something that he would send out every month, newsletters to. And he, Gamicide got in so many zines in every country in the world, Chile, France, Hungary, Australia, New Zealand, Brazil, I mean, Canada, every country you could think of, Russia, China, Japan, places that we didn't even know that there was a metal scene at all. And then we started getting mail from those places. And that was because of Richard C. He really got the word out about Gamicide. And we were actually his best selling record at the time when it came out. I think maybe after he might have had better success, a little bit better with one of those other bands like Impetigo or something like that, one of those death metal bands.
Yeah.
But yeah, it did very well on Wild Rags.
Yeah, so there was never talk of a second record or another demo or an EP. I know Annihilator did a couple things for them. They're another Texas band.
We thought that we could do better, and we were trying to get onto a Metal Blade or a Steam Hammer or a Combat or something like that. And so we wanted to try to advance up the rung of the ladder and try to progress and get with a bigger company that could, take us to the next level. And, by the time we started getting ready to write our second record, it was already 1991. And we put out that demo, a 91 demo, but all the labels at that time were interested was grindcore and death metal. And they didn't want anything to do. Thrash was completely unfashionable. It had become so oversaturated because they had signed every freaking thrash metal band in the world pretty much at that, around between 88 and 90. And I mean, the labels all said that they were, more interested in, in death metal and grindcore. So, we didn't want to just, suddenly become a death metal band or anything like that. That wouldn't be right.
No.
So although we did experiment with, blast beats and things like that, we had blast beats from the very beginning.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I didn't think we were fans of Morbid Angel and Carcass and Obituary. And we didn't think that it was that big of a difference between thrash and death metal, but apparently there's a huge difference. But, as far as the fans were concerned, I mean, Exodus and Testament were on this side of the line, and then,
everybody else.
Yeah, death metal, was on the other side of the line. So,
I never understood that sentiment. I never got it. I was.
I think we can debate this all day long, but I think that death metal was spawned from thrash. It's a heavier, faster version of thrash with the guttural vocal and so forth. But I think the thrash is kind of the foundation of those other genres that you just mentioned. I just think it was just the next step for record labels. And to me, someone told me the other day, they said they thought that record labels were like politicians. You like them, and before they get elected, and then they get in there and they do what they want. They don't do what the fans, what their constituents want. And obviously, Gamicide, we wanted more Gamicide, and they said no. Well, they waved you off, I guess, in a manner of speaking. And speaking of which, Scott, do you still have that? Do you still have the Gamicide record, that box set? I always love doing this because people don't realize it. And I remember when you and I were putting this thing together, that was our hee. Let's see if anybody notices. Can you open it up, or is it sealed?
Nope, I can open it.
Okay.
Somebody that loves him sent him that.
Somebody.
I know. So open it up and then show the front and the back together. Show the front cover and the back cover together.
Hang on. Things are gonna be falling out. Front cover, back cover.
Yeah. See, nobody. How many people have noticed that that the front cover bleeds over to the back cover?
I've seen that piece of artwork on its own. So yeah, I picked up on it immediately.
I just thought that was an interesting idea, and you know what? For all the waiting and the idiosyncrasies that we had with that project, I thought that's one of my prized possessions, to be honest with you. And I'm not trying to fanboy you just because you're on the show, but that was a labor of love, and holy cow, it's got. And I think the DVD is worth the price of admission on that thing.
It's a fantastic set.
Yeah, and that's people think that's Photoshopped, but that's a photograph that John and I did.
Yeah. How many did we?
Because we didn't know, if we could have Photoshopped it, we would have, but we didn't know how. So the only way we could come up with it, I said, John, I want it to look like the Gamicide skull, but I want it to look like it's real, and
so we got a real skull.
Yeah, we couldn't.
And there's red light versions, there's green light versions. How many? We had several versions, but we ended up with green, the Gamicide green.
Yeah.
And I remember taking the logo off of a T-shirt and then redrawing the whole thing. And man, what a cool project! But there's so much history in that thing. And like I said, the DVD to me is I hadn't watched it when it first came out, and one day I just got a wild hair and said, I'm gonna check this thing out. And man, I was so blown away how good it was. Great songs, good sets. Even though Varnum was wearing those super short shorts that kind of scared me a little bit. And shout out to him, hey Varnum. But anyway.
Yeah, I mean, that was another thing that was because Gamicide, we really only have one album out, I mean, we got a couple of demos, but for this Italian record label to want to do a production like that for us with the booklet and, do it on the green vinyl, and then they put the 10-inch recording, and then we do some new songs and put that on there, and, and the DVD, I mean, pretty awesome,
Yeah, it was an awesome project.
Really a nice package.
It's fantastic. So now what we need is an Iron Jaw double disc with the new album and maybe live album or live DVD.
Maybe on No Life Till Metal Records. Who knows?
Maybe. I like the way this is going. Speaking of which, what do you Iron Jaw is different than Gamicide.
Yes.
So what do you say to people that say, well, Iron Jaw, they're not the same as Gamicide? Well, I mean, I know there's some naysayers out there. I'm not one of them because I like both bands as they are. But what do you say to, I know there's elements of Gamicide because you could hear it in the demos.
Well, I did, I did Gamicide already. And then I did, War Beast was almost like a continuation. If Gamicide would have still been around, those riffs probably would end up being Gamicide songs, but they end up being War Beast songs. So I guess I guess I just kind of wanted to go back to the stuff that inspired me in the first place, which is, Priest and Maiden and Motorhead and just going back to before metal became splintered in a million different categories. You know, it was just all heavy metal, you know, and I wanted to go back to songs that influenced me from those days and try to write songs that try to have that kind of feeling to it.
You mean back in the day when you could have Rat and Metallica on the same LP?
Right. Like Metal Massacre 1.
Yep.
Right. Very nice. Thank you very much, Ruthless Metal.
It's true. Hey.
Yeah, it is true.
So, hey, Rick, I've been wanting to get to this comment for a minute because I don't know. So TJ Lewis from Forebode put up a comment, and they just dropped their record last Friday or the Friday before on vinyl, and that should be going out soon, he says. I don't know what this is. Can you see that comment?
Yeah, it says R.I.P. Eric Roy. It's difficult to find anything about him online. Do you have any good Eric stories?
You're right. It is difficult to find anything online about him. There's on the Gamma Side DVD that we were just talking about. There was one of the shows that we did was with Eric, and it's on YouTube. If you look, it's Gamma Side Live in I think 1988 or 89, and but yeah, Eric was a great guy. He was really my brother there for several years through Warlock and then into Gamma Side. Eric was just a very cool guy. He played bass with his fingers, you know, which I like, you know, because I like Geezer Butler and Cliff Burton, and Eric played bass with his fingers. He was just a super cool guy. He lived kind of a nomadic lifestyle. He never really had a solid place to live. He just kind of drifted from place to place, but he was a real cool guy. So he never had a shortage of people who wanted to let him stay at his place. But yeah, Eric was a cool guy. Cool Eric story. You know, I mean, he was so cool that, you know, he'd fuck your girlfriend and you wouldn't even really get that mad about it.
Wow.
He ain't that cool.
No, I was going to say, holy crap.
That one came out of left field and caught me off guard.
I mean, nowadays I probably would get more mad about it, but back in those days, it was more like, whatever, you know, I mean, it was
That's funny.
More open time, I suppose you might say. We were a lot more sharing, I guess.
You wouldn't even get mad about it.
That get a little mad, but not real mad.
Yeah.
You know,
not like fighting. So so forgive me because I don't know who Eric was. So was he he came and went from Gamma Side and then he didn't play
he was.
What happened to the guy? If it's not too sensitive.
Well, no. He was just, none of us were innocent choir boys or anything like that, but he was like probably going a little too far off the deep end as far as, you know, some of the other activities that we were doing back then. And he got to the point where, you know, he was missing practice a lot and things like that. And so, you know, we just ended up getting a different bass player, you know. I don't know. Now when I look back at it, I think that, you know, Scott and I we always had some kind of weird thing going where we would always persecute whoever the bass player was. We would always persecute them.
Yeah.
And we persecuted Eric. And then later on, we got Blade in the band, and we tormented him relentlessly. And every bass player, even when we reunited in 2005 and we got Alan Beauvais to play bass.
Well, he's easy to persecute. Let's admit that.
Yeah, but he's a kind of he kind of makes himself a target. So
yeah, that he does.
That's funny. So somebody asked.
I got some good stories about him too. But
come on, we got plenty of time.
No.
No, no. I don't think you want to go down that road,
No, you
Rob.
No.
Here's a good comment.
What is in Spinal Tap? They say some mysteries are best left unsolved.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
That would be one of them. That would be
right.
one of them. Let's just
Best left unsolved.
Best left unsold.
Yeah. What's wrong with being sexy?
What's wrong with being sexy?
It's sexy.
You idiot. Oh God, we could start at the front of that movie and go all the way through it. So somebody in the comments earlier said, Gamma Side reunion? Ever? Any chance of y'all playing together?
I think you tried it once, didn't you?
Gamma
Or
Side?
twice? Yeah.
Well, like we did it in 2005 and 2006. We did it a little. When we put out the Victims of Science, we did a little reunion show, and then the next year we did a little Texas tour. It's kind of hard because Jamie, our drummer, lives in Colorado, and Barnum lives in Louisiana, so it's kind of difficult. I mean, we probably could do it, if the situation was right. I mean,
if Hellfest offered you $500,000 to play,
well, yeah, of course. I mean,
you can figure that out.
I'd be the roadie.
Yeah. I mean, it would take some practice. You have to get back.
That's a blistering.
That's
all those songs are blistering, but I think that got you ready for the next step. I think Iron Jaw is actually the next step.
It is because it is.
Yeah.
It's simpler music, but sometimes I think that comes across live better.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and it's stuff that you can.
Simpler doesn't mean bad.
No, right. I mean, that was kind of the idea, like AC/DC or British Steel album by Priest is very stripped down, and just the riffs are, just kind of simple, but that stuff comes across pretty effective live.
They're pretty headbanging songs. Yeah.
It's definitely more traditional American heavy metal is the way I would describe it.
Yeah.
But not leaning Keel as much as it's a little harder, a little edgier than that,
No Keel.
Keel's going over here with the double guitar thing, and you guys are not throwing ballads in. But for some reason, I think of them when I think of traditional heavy metal. But this is heavier. This has got more of an edge.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, those first couple Keel albums are pretty heavy too. It's just people who know those albums.
Well, and now I'm going to use a Canadian band to talk about
Steeler, exactly.
American heavy metal. Something like Sword, stuff like that.
Yeah. That's the ballpark. I mean, it's Priest, Motorhead, Sabbath, but if those bands,
it's heavy metal.
If those bands were, raised in Fort Worth, Texas, or something like that, and weren't quite as good.
Nice comments, Spicoli. Iron Jaw equals heavy metal at the speed of loud.
Right. However fast that is, that's how fast it goes.
Hey, but I like TJ's comment. Gamma Side live at the Casa de Carcass, September 19th, 2023.
It could happen.
Target date.
It could happen.
I might need you for something else, but I digress. I'll just let that one lie there.
It was kind of funny because when we first did the Gamma Side reunion in 2005, our drummer Jamie, we were talking to him about it, and he said, "Well, guys, I can't be there to practice until maybe 2 days before the gig," and so he was gonna show up maybe on a Thursday, and then we have to play a gig on Saturday, and Scott was like, "There's no way, that we can be that tight after only 2 days of practice after, 15 years of rust building up." So, we said there's no way. So we did the shows with Ed Velez instead. And Jamie, when he found out about our decision, he goes, "Well, if you want to do that, that's fine." He goes, "But I'm telling you, I could get up off the couch right now and play those songs better." And and we were like going, that's pretty cocky, you know. But then next year we did try it with Jamie, and he was right. He did get up off the couch and he played him better, you know. So it was like, you know, as long as me and Scott did our homework and was going over the riffs, then we could probably get together with Jamie and at Casa de Carcass and do something like that, you know. Maybe we'll see.
Right on. We'll stream it and record it live.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
Have you guys got any specific? I hope this isn't the dumbest question you've ever been asked, but you threw down the video for Tonight We Raid. Do you guys go in with certain themes, like, hey, we're going to write this song about running from the cops, or we're going to write this song about whatever? I mean, have you got any specific themes like that for the record, or how do you go into that sort of thing? Is it just a Todd comes in with the lyrics and that's what they are?
Sometimes Todd comes up with the lyrics and says, you know, and he has something that he wants to write about. You know, he does a lot of reading and he's into, you know, some esoteric topics and things, you know. So sometimes he does that. And then sometimes I write the lyrics, or sometimes I'll say what I want the song to be about. Like on Tonight We Raid, that song was just, I said, well, I want to have a song that's, you know, like an opener song, like a Are You Ready to Rock type song. Mm-hmm. So, but it kind of morphed into, you know, we're not really talking about, you know, dropping bombs on the city. We're the bombs we're dropping are heavy metal music. You know, we're bringing heavy metal music. You know, we're raiding your city with metal, and you know, that's where that comes in. But we couldn't figure out a good way to do that for the video, so we went back to the bombs. You know, it always looks cool to have things blowing up.
Just bomb shit. Who cares? Right.
When in doubt, blow crap up.
Yeah, that's right. There you go.
Exactly. So now, forgive me for not knowing the answer to this. So Tonight We Raid.
Oh, that was the dumbest question I've ever heard.
Damn it. So Tonight We Raid is the first video or the second video for the new album?
First one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got plans for what are the plans for the second one? Any ideas yet?
It's a song called Pyromancer, and this one Todd wrote, and it's the subject matter is about I guess some kind of mythical guy that is kind of sees prophecies of the future or something. I'm not exactly sure where he came up with the concept, but it's cool. It's kind of a different song for us. It's a little more I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of moody, but it's still Iron Jaw, I think.
Yeah, you did mention that at the beginning of the show. I'm sorry.
1 second, guys. I think my laptop's about to die. I need to get a plug for it real quick. Hang on.
Right on.
We call it production value.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we are professionals.
We're here with the governor, Rick Perry, and if you don't know why he is called the governor, because Texas had a governor named Rick Perry. Get it?
That's right.
That's right. We are all about high comedy here.
But he's the governor of the metal state.
Right. Sure.
Exactly. Well, if anybody in the comments section chime in with a couple of questions for Rick, we've got about 5 minutes left, and he's getting his laptop plugged in. But yeah, if you guys want to fire off a couple of questions for the greatness, let's do this thing. Disgusting.
That's the dumbest question I've ever heard.
That's right. I know somebody will have something here. TJ says, hope you make it down. Frazier is here as usual. Thank you for being here.
We do want to come down to Austin, and I think we will be playing down there sometime soon. So we definitely want to go down to Austin and play because it's so close.
Here's a quick topic that we can wrap the show up with, and I know you'll have opinions on this. This, to me, is a no-brainer. KK Downing announced that he will perform with Priest at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Duh. No-brainer. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't even see how you could not do that.
Well, personally, I think the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is stupid, you know, and I don't think it really means that much. I do. I mean,
I
don't
agree.
think it-
Most
I don't
people
think it
do.
means that much, especially to
Most
heavy
people-
metal.
I think most people think it's stupid, but I mean, metalhead people. I think Rob Halford kind of made himself look silly a little bit, the way he seemed like he was lobbying so hard to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and then they gave him some kind of they gave it like a consolation prize, like they call it performer instead of artist or something weird like that. But I do think it's cool. If it means that they're going to jam with KK again, and I'm hoping that it causes them to repair their whatever's
Relationship?
going on with their relationships, and that they can jam together again. Because I think that's the fans would like that, and I mean, it's different when one guy doesn't want to do it anymore, or if he
can't do it anymore.
If he doesn't have the ability to anymore, maybe because of his health or whatever, but he wants to do it, and I think it would be better if he was in there.
So do you have any insight on why he quit in the first place? Did he just get tired and say, "Hey, I'm done for a while"? Or I never got a real straight answer from anybody about why KK quit.
I think he was wanting to retire because he thought that there was only a matter of time that Glenn Tipton's Parkinson's reached the point where he wouldn't be able to play either.
I read about touring commitments too. He didn't want to tour so much.
Yeah,
is what I heard.
He knew that Glenn's Parkinson's was going to reach a more debilitating stage, so he was saying, "Let's do a farewell tour," and then
be done.
Yeah, but then
So what do you think of
a farewell tour?
So what do you think of Richie and whoever else they got on?
Andy Sneap.
Andy Sneap.
I think Richie Faulkner is awesome. I think he's a fantastic guitar player, and no one's mad at him. I mean, he's revitalized and re-energized Priest, and he's great. But he plays the Glenn Tipton parts and the KK Downing parts. So if KK did come back, Richie could just move over to the side, do the Glenn Tipton stuff. Andy Sneap is cool. He's all right. He does okay.
He's a good producer.
He's a great producer. I think he probably would, want to do that. I'm surprised he's continued doing this for so long, but I guess when the metal gods call you, you answer. And
so that answers that question. Right? Priest with one guitarist or Priest with two guitarists?
One guitarist. That was stupid, ridiculous. Thoughts on the Pantera reunion? I think that it's great for all the kids who never got to see Pantera, and they want to see a facsimile of Pantera. I think that they got the right guys to do it. I think that Zach Wilde and Charlie Benante are going to do an awesome job at playing the parts of Daryl and Vinny. I think it'll be probably kick ass. People who don't like it don't have to go, and they Phil and Rex, they have a right to play those songs too, just as much. So, I probably could get behind it a little bit more if they would have called it something different, but everybody does that, I mean, Priest has only got, Ian Hill and Rob Halford in there right now, from the original lineup. And, lots of bands are like that. So,
Ian Hill's the only real original member of Priest, if you really want to get technical.
Yeah, but I mean
Halford, classic.
Yeah, I know. That's crazy, though. That's like saying Dave Evans is the original singer of AC/DC.
Well, right. That's true.
But I wanted to ask you, Rob, because you posted the other day that you had went to that Alice Cooper show that was at the record store a few years ago.
Yes.
And, that's funny because I was going to go and just go because I thought it was just going to be Dennis Dunaway doing a book signing. And for whatever reason, I ended up not going. And then I was sitting at home, and then someone put on Facebook that the original Alice Cooper band reunited at the record store that day. And I was like going, what the fuck? I can't believe I missed that shit. You know, and I've never talked to anyone who actually went. So what was that like?
Man, it was pretty cool. I will say this. I was in with a group of guys that kind of had a little bit of an inside track on that. And I'll say it like this. We were not surprised.
Yeah.
When the band came out and played and Alice showed up.
Yeah.
It was, dude, I'm an Alice Cooper fan, but I'm an Alice Cooper fan from the 80s on. I didn't know Love It to Death and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But through record collecting, as so many
that's
bands
the best,
came to me
that's the
through
best
record
stuff is the
collecting.
stuff they do with the original band. I think
Yeah,
by far.
I went back and bought all that stuff. So I had the same intention. I wanted to go meet a dude from the original band. I wanted to get the book signed.
Yeah.
We got our $1 billion bills as our entry ticket and all that. And then Chris Penn let in, I think there were 150 or 200 people there, you know, and we were all standing down the aisles between the CDs and the records, you know, and they had the stage covered in pink AstroTurf. And before that, before the show, let me back up. You could go in and I think you got your book signed first, and you could get pictures with the guys, you know, with Neil and Michael, and that was really cool, and that would have been enough for me.
Yeah.
But then Robert Wolanski comes out, and they're all sitting in custom-made electric chairs, and the Q&A was really good. I don't know if that's on the DVD or not. I haven't opened it yet, but I did watch the show that has a few minutes of you know, documentary type footage on it, and it was pretty cool. So I'm hoping that more of that is on there. But Robert Wolanski from The Observer killed it. It was awesome. The guys told cool stories. And then they came out and played, 6 or 7 songs. And, you know, Ryan Roxy and the dude from Beasto Blanco came out, and it was awesome. I knew all the songs, which was cool, you know, even though I wasn't a massive fan of the old stuff, the older stuff, just because I wasn't as familiar.
Yeah.
But by the end of it, not during the main set, but when they stopped for a minute, oddly enough, it kind of cleared out.
They had a stage and a PA and everything in the record store.
Yeah, it was small, but yeah, they did, and they recorded it all pro and everything. You know, multi-track recording for audio and video, multi-camera. So somehow, or for some reason, the crowd moved back or thinned out or something. I don't know. But the next thing I know, I'm able to move up a few feet, and I'm just like, that's Alice Cooper right here.
Yeah.
You know, and the rest of those dudes. And it was awesome. I kept some balloons from it and took a shitload of pictures. And then bought all the records and, you know, several different variants of all the shit that they put out. But man, that was fun. I'm a little heartbroken for you that you didn't go.
Yeah, man. I mean, because I would have just went just to get, you know, Dennis Dunaway to sign him a book or something, you know.
Yeah.
Had I known that, I was like, what? You know, the fuck? You know. But anyway, so the DVD is is it a movie about how they did this or something? Because I guess that guy in the record store orchestrated all that, right?
Correct. So
it's pretty amazing.
The thing that came out most recently, a week or two ago, is the CD and Blu-ray combo.
Yeah.
First, they released 7 inches with 2 songs. They released cassettes. They released 8 tracks. A bunch of different records finally came out. And then they did this the most recently. I still haven't opened mine, obviously. But the CD came with a Blu-ray, and it says, 2015 reunion show with award-winning documentary of the event. So
Mhm.
I'm hoping that there's more footage than they showed on KERA the other night, because it was only about an hour. And this specifically says,
What it was on TV?
yeah, they played it on Channel 13 the other night.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, but
I missed that too.
it says that the total running time is about 100 minutes. Documentary is approximately 57 minutes. Extra is about 55 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'm not exactly sure, but I need to open this up and see it. But these are widely available. And since you didn't go, man, I would highly recommend picking this up. It's like
Yeah, I'm going
15 or
to.
$18. It's all
It's out
Oh.
now.
notch. Yeah, it's out right now.
I may go to Best Buy after this and just go get it.
It is top notch quality.
I saw Alice Cooper several times in the 70s and 80s, but I went and saw him earlier this year with Ace Frehley at the Will Rogers. That was a cool concert. That's a cool place to see a show, man. I hadn't been to a show there since I saw British Steel. Priest played there, and then Ozzy on Blizzard of Oz played there on like in the early 80s, and the place looked exactly the same. And I mean, I got right up front for that show, and it was badass. I mean,
I've never
I gotta
seen
say that Alice Cooper, for being like 90 years old, looks cool as hell in the leather pants, and I mean, he's a commanding front man. He really is better now than if you look at footage of him in the early 70s. It's not. I mean, you know, he was groundbreaking, but really, if you look at the old footage, he's kind of drunk, stumbling around and just mumbling a lot of times and stuff.
He wasn't very present.
But now he's on top of it, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I saw it.
Drunk and stumbling around.
Yeah.
First time I saw Alice was on the Trash tour. And
I mean,
then
think about it.
seen
He's
him
the
on
same
some-
age as Joe Biden, you know, and look at him.
Yeah.
I think he's actually a little younger than Joe Biden. I think isn't he only like in his early 70s? I'm gonna
Was
look.
that all?
I'm gonna look. I can't remember now. I gotta look it up.
Yeah,
I saw them
him on the Trash
I saw
tour
the-
at the Bronco Bowl, and then I saw him on some package tours. I saw him on that Operation Rock and Roll.
Yeah, that was a great show. That was a great show.
That was great.
He was one of the headliners at Psycho Vegas about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
With when Nita Strauss was still with him, and man, they were
So he was born in 1948.
awesome.
I know it's that's a professional rock and roll show. I mean, for sure.
Yep.
98, 2008,
Yeah.
18. So that's 5, 6, 7. Yeah. So he's 74.
Or
74. Yeah,
Thanks
because he
for
was born
sharing
in
that with me, Rob.
1948.
I am gonna go pick that up. So it comes with like the live album and then a DVD with it or something.
Yeah,
Yep.
the vinyl comes with the DVD, and the CD comes with a Blu-ray.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Oh, you'll dig it, dude. You will dig it. But, well, we are at about 6:10. Any parting shots for the governor before we punch out?
no, thanks for
I'm
joining us, Rick.
just looking forward to new music.
Yeah.
I want the
Thank you. Appreciate it. We'll definitely I'll send it your way first, you know.
Well, thank you very much. I saw your message a couple weeks ago, and it was awesome that you sent that. Yeah. We appreciate it.
Well, the Metal Round Table is sacred. So, you know,
You're too kind.
yes.
You
Yes.
just got a bald dude asking stupid questions. It's really nothing more than that.
Yep. But we're still here after 154 episodes, so
That's true.
Right.
maybe there's something to it. I don't know.
That's true. Well, keep
we've gotten
it
so much.
inside.
We've gotten so much more professional.
This is 154 episodes.
This is episode 154, and we've missed some time in between episodes, but
Yeah.
we've been pretty consistent here recently. We've been almost every week, pretty
Yep.
consistently, and it was cool that I don't know how the metal gods work, but number 150, which I think is pretty important date, fell on my birthday, so it was a wild party, and then here we are, 154, and we're still kicking it.
What is the you think the best episode so far, or the most popular episode?
The most
Maybe the Bruce Corbett one.
the two
Yeah, I
most
guess-
special the two most special ones for me were the Bruce Corbett one, because we talked to him in his final days, and that was absolutely an honor. That's the only time I'd ever met the man.
Yeah.
But it was a really cool story because I had that signed cover that a buddy of mine gave me. He was going to throw it away.
Yeah.
Turns out they had all autographed it to some dude from the band Talon, and they knew who he was.
Mm-hmm.
So they all talked about that. And then the other one for me personally was the accidental final interview for
Eric Wagner.
Eric Wagner.
That should have fallen to somebody way more important than my dumbass.
Well, Rick, so just
Because that was the
don't
last
go,
show.
don't go away. Don't
was
achieve
his
the
last
astral
interview.
plane, because every time we have a good interview, it seems like
No.
please don't do that. Please.
No.
We're
Was
We're not-
that the last show that they played too, or they played a
No.
couple of shows after?
no,
They
they
played
played
one more.
Austin. They
but
played
that's
Austin.
the last interview, huh?
Yep.
Yeah,
that's it.
last interview, second to the last show. I think they played Austin the next night,
Yep. And then they
everybody
were all
got sick, and they were like, that
Yeah.
was it. And then he never left Texas.
and I actually
that-
got sick because of it. I got sick at the same time Eric did.
A lot of people at that show got sick.
Yeah.
Mhm.
A lot of people did.
So
And you know someone in the Obsessed there got sick too, right? I think the drummer got sick, and then
I think
yeah,
you're right.
and then there's Wino. We interviewed him that night too, and he
Yeah.
was spot on and hilarious and very poignant and had a lot of great stories. But
Yeah.
that guy is cast iron or something. Scott, you were saying that Alice Cooper's only 74, but my grandpa used to say it's not age, it's mileage. And
Alice has got
sometimes
some mileage, yeah.
sometimes that new car has too many miles on it, and it doesn't function quite as well. But I don't know. I think most of ours are just. I mean, the Gene Hoglan thing was funny and fun.
that was a
And
good one too.
He was a good, and I think when we took the spin around Henry's shop at the original Born Late, I thought that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
I really like the Ron Reinhardt interview. That guy has
He
some
was
good stories.
hilarious.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
just
I
saw
wasn't
that
even here.
the other day, or just a few minutes ago. I saw that's pretty recent, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he just doesn't do interviews, so it was really cool to have
Yeah,
him
you
on.
never see an interview with him.
No, he
Yeah,
he
that
leaves
was a
all that to Gene. Gene does all the
Yeah.
interviews. So
That was a good get. We've
I
had
don't
some
know.
great.
Yeah, we've had some pretty
Yeah.
cool.
the
Yeah.
guitar player from D. Snyder. His name is slipping my mind.
Oh, Charlie
Charlie
Belmore.
There you go, Charlie Belmore.
That dude
Twice.
told some entertaining stories.
Yes,
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah.
Well, my main get that I want more than anybody on the planet is Phil. I want to get Phil. I want to talk to him about his entrance into Pantera. I want to talk about all of that, and I just have not been able to work that out. But that would be a good one for me. Man, there's so many people I'd love to talk to, but
you got to send an email to Kate.
Let's get
Yeah.
Ted Nugent on the show. That'd be a fun one.
that'd be fun. Yeah, that'd be interesting. But the other thing about me too is I always feel like I'm just beating them down. I always feel I'm still that nervous kid that just I get scared shitless. And what was the one I was messaging you guys a few weeks back? It's during the show, and I'm messaging Scott and Carcass going, I'm dying. Help me out here with some questions. I'm losing it. I don't
Was it
remember
Saxon?
who it was though.
Oh, was Nigel? Was it Nigel?
Nigel.
Oh
was-
yeah.
That was a pretty good one too.
Yeah, he's a funny cat.
Yeah. He's great.
No, it was somebody else, and I don't remember who it was. But the thing about this is I'm fairly bold in a non-invasive way, and like getting those kids from Desiccation on here. I mean, I thought that story was so cool that three brothers from San Diego asked their mom, "Hey, we got on this bill. Can you drive us to Fort Worth?" And she's like, "Sure." And they're
Yeah, that's
listening to Suffocation and Devourment and Insect Warfare all the way
Yeah.
from San Diego, and they play this show. And I went over to the merch table, and she was running the merch table, and I said, "Man, your kids just, lopped our domes off. We really dug it, man. That was great." And she says, "Please talk to them. Like, don't talk to me, talk to them." So we gathered them up and we had them at the ice, and we need to get you on the show. And they're like, "You have a show?"
How old
I'm
were
like,
they?
"Well, kind of, but
How
you know,
old
they
were
were
they? How old were they?
the youngest was 15. There was like 15, 17, 18, and 20.
Yeah.
And then they had a drummer that they just picked up from Houston because their other drummer couldn't do it, and he had like Jamie said, I can come off the couch and play these songs. They basically had 2 days with him. They got here on a Thursday and banged it out on a Saturday night. And that I couldn't tell that guy was a fill-in drummer. He was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And so there are people that can do it. I mean, I have no doubt. And Jamie's one of them, and this cat from Houston was one of them. Desiccation is technical, heavy, old school death metal. I mean, they're along the same line as Malevolent Creation or Obituary or even Vader or someone, kind of in the Swedish vein, and yet he was able to pull it off. And so, I don't know, man, big names, little names. It really doesn't matter.
That's great that the kids that age are getting into it like that,
Agreed.
Well, and they get it from their
100%.
parents. See, now we've transcended through the
because the scene is not going to continue unless some kids start getting into it like that.
Right. They are. That's the.
There is a lot of them doing it. Yeah.
You see them,
A lot of young bands playing metal and thrash.
Yeah, and there's kids out there with battle vests because their parents were good parents and
hand me
them
downs
on to Metallica or whatever, whatever it takes. But so before we get out of here, I want to say that this is number 154, which is a weird number, but we also reached another milestone today because we got through a whole episode without Carcass saying Osric Tentacles.
Oh man. Yeah. See, I was focused. I was focused on the governor. I was focused on Rick Perry. But you said it. So yay you.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does matter.
Because sometimes I say it.
Multiplicity.
Yeah, not what you said.
Well, thanks for having me on, man.
Dude,
yeah, it was good seeing you again, Rick.
On anytime, and seriously, if we're having a topic and you want to jump in, all I got to do is message you the link.
Okay.
So just, man, anytime.
And if you have a topic that you think that might be something that I could pitch in on, then let me know about it. Because
next week is our big poison episode. We're going to be discussing nothing but poison the whole time.
The German version.
Oh, okay.
So you don't want to be with me on the rat version, on the rat show?
I mean, I'm not that much of an authority on that, really. I mean, I have the first album.
Okay, but wait, Rick. What genre was Warlock? Was Warlock more just
heavy metal?
Heavy metal?
Yeah, it was heavy metal. That's what I call it, because we liked, Venom, and we liked Motley Crue, which they only have Too Fast for Love out at that time. Which
they've never done.
That's how it was back then. There was no categories between,
Nope.
You'd listen to Aerosmith, and then you'd listen to,
Venom. Yep.
Yeah.
Venom.
Yeah. Whatever. Motorhead.
That's the way I did it, man. My battle vest in the 80s.
Yeah.
Big Aerosmith wings in the back, and
I
think I had a big Anthrax logo under that. So.
Yeah.
And I think it was kind of cool when it was a little wide open like that, because now bands get so stuck in their niche that if they step one little inch out of it, it sounds like, what the hell are they doing? But if you think of, back in the old days, they would, Priest would put a ballad on there or just whatever,
Mm-hmm. Nuclear
Get off my lawn.
Oh, here's another one.
Yeah.
I'd like to get Terry on. That would be awesome. I would love to get Terry.
Right.
And here's another good guest. We've had the great Glenn Rogers on from Hyrax and
Heretic and
Deliverance and
Deliverance.
Primal.
And
awesome band.
Now he's in second album for Primal coming out soon.
Yep. I'm still working on it, Glenn. I swear. I messaged Diggy today. Working
But
on
yeah.
mastering a new album.
Primal.
We'll have some new Iron Jaw coming out soon, so check it out. And and again, thanks for having me on the round table. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, dude, it's awesome. All right, well, that is going to wrap it up for episode 154 of the Metal Roundtable. You can follow me on Instagram at I am Metal Rob. You can follow the Carcass on Instagram at Carcass John Art. He is also back on Facebook. You can find Scott on YouTube by just searching up Scott Waters, and it is very easy to also find Iron Jaw and Rick Perry.
Right.
You can find, I'm sure you guys, they've got the
Bandcamp.
Facebook page and, the
Bandcamp. Go to their Bandcamp and buy their stuff.
Yes. And the video is on the Iron Jaw
YouTube
page
channel.
on YouTube. Go subscribe to that and follow them so that you can see all the videos coming out. And stay in touch with us because we love you. So you know how we do it.
And
Episode 154, signing off. Until next time, Metal will
Prevail.
I don't have the right tab up for the outro.
Of course you don't.
Here we go.